You're listening to the Epically Geeky Show, a place for all things geeky.
Welcome back to the Epically Geeky Show, episode number 74. I'm your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. Tonight's opening question, you have to pick a side. You're a little hungry. You have to pick a side right now. What are you going for? Poutine, cornbread dressing, or ketchup chips? Lainey?
Oh,
Poutine.
Poutine. Going for the poutine, huh?
There you go.
I am. That's my dream food.
Gotcha. Ray, which of the three are you going for right now?
Well, can I add something?
No, just the three. Just the three.
Oh, can't.
Oh my god. One goes in the fire.
Gotta have the poutine.
Gotcha. Kris, which one are you going for?
So, poutine, ketchup chips, or what was the other one?
Cornbread dressing.
If I ate,
I know.
probably ketchup chips.
Ketchup chips, gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm going to surprise everyone and say poutine.
Really?
Yes. As much as I love those ketchup chips, I was like, yeah. For those of you who don't follow me on Instagram, which by the way, Optimus Gene on Instagram, the reason why we didn't have a show last weekend is because I had an early birthday surprise. It was kind of interesting. My birthday is not until mid-September. But we had previously looked at doing a birthday party. I turned 40 this year, about a month ago. And unfortunately, like, no one could make it. And yes, I was a little bummed about that, but I'm like, all right, well, whatever, moving on.
A little bummed?
Yeah, I was a little bummed. I was like, whatever, you know what, we'll just try closer. The reason why we did it so early is because I was like, well, if we do it this way, you know, certain people aren't back on contract and this, that, and the other, whatever. I'm like, well, we'll just try it again. We'll just see what happens. So, unbeknownst to me, Lainey and I did a Classic Game Fest, which was a lot of fun. And there were several hints throughout the week that something was off, but I'm a very trusting person. You could say naive.
So
It's going to be your downfall.
To some extent, yes. Yes, I quite literally will get stabbed in the back by a good friend. So, but anyway, so Thursday rolls around, and Lainey and I are supposed to work Bill County Comic-Con, and this is on Saturday and Sunday. And Thursday I get home. It's my last 4-day week, and I come home and I pick up the boys, and they're like, "Mommy says if we have a good night tonight and a good day today, we don't have to go to school tomorrow." I'm like, "Mommy didn't say that. You fools! You heard wrong. There's no way you are not going to school so Mommy and Daddy can." Like, relax Friday morning. This will be our last Friday morning to relax. I get home, get the boys out, and Christy has some stuff going on. She's running a little late. So I picked up, I think, a pizza, and the boys and I ate pizza and got that taken care of at McDonald's or something. We just got something. Got that cleaned up or whatever. And I'm taking care of my normal stuff that I take care of on a Thursday night. I have to, like, get all the trash together and get that out so that they can pick it up the next day and all this other stuff. And I'm taking care of stuff, and she gets home. And, yeah, it was, she's telling me to do all this different stuff. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, that was the other thing. So, the day started off okay, but then about mid-afternoon, I get an email from Cyrus. And Cyrus is like, he sent it to me and Picky Old Gamer, and he's like, guys, my job is basically saying that I have to work, overtime, not officially, but officially. And of course, he's not full-time with his job yet, so I understand he needs to do what he needs to do to get the full-time job. Right? Yep. So that's cool. But I'm like, okay. I waited about a minute and a half and thought about it. I was like, because he was like, I'm not going to be able to make shows, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to send this message. And I was like, hey, dude, are you going to make it to Geek Fest? And he's like, dude, I'm sorry, I can't make it to Geek Fest. And I went through a spiral. I was just like, well, great. I don't know what the fuck we're going to do, because with him there, we're not going to be able to live stream, and not going to be able to do this, not going to be able to do that. Kind of got it figured out, got back on solid footing. But I'm talking to my wife about this, and she kind of cuts me off, and I'm just like, well, great, this is just a suck-ass day. And then Lainey shows up and she goes, "Hey, there was something left on your front porch." And I was like, "Okay, it's not unheard of for you." Like literally, I have watched UPS because the window that's right here is the one that leads out front. I have watched UPS trucks pull up, the guy walk up with a box, set it down, and walk away. Never ring the doorbell, doesn't do nothing. And I'm just like, okay, well that's standard procedure. But I noticed the top of the box is open, and I was like, that's kind of odd. I wonder if a neighbor accidentally whatever. And then the doorbell rings, and I'm like, okay. And I go to look, and there's no one there. And Christy and Lainey are like, "Go look and see who it is." And I'm like, "There's no one there. I just looked through the door." They're like, "Well, why don't you go see?" And I'm like, "There's no one there. Why the fuck would I go outside if there's no one there?" And then Lainey's like, "I thought I saw some kids running around." And I'm just like, I don't give a fuck if there are kids running around. They're not on my doorstep. I don't care. They're like, "Just go look." And I'm just like, what the hell am I? Whatever. So I'm already kind of in a bad mood. So I walk out. And this phone pops around the corner of my garage. And then I see Ray standing there. And then their kids pop out. And then I see Kris. And at this point, I know who it is. Like, it's not like, I'm not like pulling, like, who is this person? Like, I know who it is. But it's kind of like seeing, I know what a dinosaur is. And I know what my office is. But your brain would still short circuit if I walked in and there's a stegosaurus standing there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was just like, what the fuck? And then, of course, my wife's like, "Surprise, happy birthday." So the Canadians were looking to make their way down here, kind of. They were thinking about it, talking about it, and Christy had the same idea, apparently about the same time. And so she contacted them, and it just all worked out. So even though we had met Kris through the previous website, One Man Asylum, how long has that been?
6 or 7 years ago.
It's been 6 or 7 years. We've known Kris 6 or 7 years. And we talked to Ray a little bit here and there, but we really didn't get to know Ray until about this last year and a half. And then, of course, he just fell right in with everybody.
Sorry.
I got to meet my Canadian friends, IRL, for the first time. And it was so awesome.
IRL?
Yes, I fucking did, Lainey. So they come in the house and they're like, "We're staying all weekend and you're not working Bell County Comic-Con." I'm like, all right, some more stuff makes sense now.
It all starts falling into place, all the weird stuff.
So of course, as the night goes on, I'm literally just like asking my wife, I'm like, "So did so-and-so know?" She goes, "Yes." Everyone knew. And I'll think
literally
about it like,
everybody knew.
Did this person know? She's like, "Yes, they knew too." And I'm just like, so literally everybody knew. She's like, "Yeah, everybody fucking knew about this." And I'm just like, awesome. So anyway, it's about time they come in and what was y'all's thoughts like on, because I mean you did send the video from your perspective, which I'm just like, God, I've got to lose some weight, but my brain just totally malfunctioned when y'all walked up.
The look on your face was my favorite, just like kind of mad because we're making you go out.
Who's at the door?
Yes.
We were excited.
Yeah, I couldn't wait anymore. That's why I rang the doorbell so quick. Because originally the plan was that you were supposed to go through the box and kind of see and
see if you could guess if,
hey, these are from Canada and see if you tie that in, and then we'd ring the doorbell, but I could.
Yeah.
Which I shall be partaking of tonight. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. So yeah, we just we were like, okay, and then couldn't wait anymore. Heard your voice and was like, okay, and that's when snuck it around the corner. It was like, and then it was. I kind of had the same thing. Where it was like, I'm used to seeing you through the screen, right? So it was like, okay, that's Eugene, but it's not pixelated. What the hell's going on?
Well, it's like when we met Lainey at the Starbucks. Like we saw her through the window, her car, and she saw us, and she's doing this in the car, freaking out.
He has a lower torso. Imagine that.
But to see her and talk to her and just look at her and be like, we're in the same atmosphere right now.
I literally wanted to like hold both of their faces and just like, you're real. Like, it was crazy to like talk to Kris and not have headphones in my ears. Like it was nuts.
Yeah. So I kept touching everybody like that whole day. I was just like touching everybody, make sure they're all real.
You are real.
You're real. And then we also got nervous. It was like the last hour.
I did.
No, we were driving, and I'm like, oh my God, what if these people are douches? What if we don't like them? And we're spending 5 days with them? What if it's really awkward? Oh, shit. So that started rolling through my head. It's like, what if this is terrible? This is a
she
bad
didn't
idea.
know. I had no plan just in case. I did. It was. I looked at the hotels in the area.
Smart man.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, we'd put all of our eggs in one basket.
It was all of our.
No other plan than just to spend 5 days at your house.
There was no other basket.
No other plans.
Well, didn't you say you had told someone? Which, by the way, Sean in the chat room says, even I knew. Fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah, he
Yes,
did.
he did.
I'm sure he did. He also said I kind of looked like a monkey doing a math problem in the video.
I love that look because you're looking at us for like a full second, like what?
Yeah,
your
pretty
brain
accurate,
was
dude.
definitely fried. It was like,
oh God, it was
you
so
aren't
funny.
connecting properly yet.
Okay, which by the way, Ryan, I think I figured out what's happening with the syncing issue. The problem is the audio is going through one computer and the video is going through another one. I just didn't want to mess with it tonight. I am going to see if I can get that synced up. But he literally says, "How was it meeting Eugene and seeing that his voice, his mouth and voice are synced up?" So, yeah, ass.
Well, that was shade.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, they come in and got to meet their kids, and that's when, okay, so my boys are both 5 and y'all's are 11 and 9.
Yep.
And what I didn't ever think would necessarily happen is your kids and my kids like took to each other really well. Like, even though there's that age gap, like they took to each other really, really well. Thank goodness, because God, if the kids had fought with each other, it would have been insane.
Kids are holy terrors.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. So it is my fault. Yeah. No. So so they come in, and of course I'm just reeling. Like I'd always had this thought in my head that, if y'all came down, it would be, a big production. We'd figure out what the hell's going on or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, I have to cook some Texas type, food and stuff for y'all. That all kind of went to hell about a month and a half ago when y'all dropped the bomb on us that Ray can't eat red meat. So
and I'm a vegetarian, so yeah.
So steak and chili and Whataburger, it all just kind of goes out the door. So it's like, all right,
yeah.
What else do we have? So I mean, like I literally was like, I feel like I should be grilling something for y'all, but I know that's not going to work out.
Not much point.
No. So we, like I got the y'all went and got some food, and because y'all were starving, and I got the boys down, and because it was their bedtime, and then we just kind of, I think we spent that first night just talking, and a lot of it was honestly, and this is what's funny, just to give you, even though we're not that old, a lot of it was like talking about, well, how hot is it here, and this, and just.
Oh my God! Like a bunch of old men around a checkers table.
Shut up.
Talking about the damn weather.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
It was hot.
It is hot.
Yeah, it's hot.
So hot.
So we just kind of talked about different things, and then I think we stayed up pretty late. But then we got to bed.
Yeah.
And that next morning got up, and that's when one of the first interesting things I think happened. So I got up that morning. I was like, hey, good morning. How are y'all? Did y'all sleep all right? Everything else? Kids were already up playing. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, so I was going to make some biscuits for breakfast. And the Canadians looked at me like, what do you mean biscuits? I'm like, like biscuits for breakfast. And
biscuits and gravy.
I wasn't as, it's like not usually.
You don't have biscuits for breakfast?
It's like an English muffin or toast or something. Not usually biscuits. At least not for us. I'm sure
biscuits, breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Not the way you're, it's like, oh, he's got like the biscuits out for like that, like dinner rolls. What are we?
Yeah. So I made biscuits, and they're like, okay, well, this is novel. I don't remember, what else did we do Friday? I know
we went out for dinner.
Okay.
That was really great.
Oh, we went to friggin'
so
Galaxy B&B.
So we decided we were trying to figure out where we wanted to go, and of course we wanted to find a place that had options. So we ended up going. It's this little hole in the wall place here in Killeen. It's called Galaxy B&B, and it's Galaxy Burgers and Breakfast. And I mean, it is literally a hole in the wall. The guy who owns it literally owns the tattoo shop next door. and the artwork in it is all geek related. Like they are playing like I've walked in and they've been playing Scott Pilgrim versus the World, or they'll be playing Star Wars, or in this case they were playing Family Guy. But they have a TV going, and it's just this little hole in the wall diner, and the food is really good. One of the things I like about it so much is, of course, all of the food that's on the list is all named after something, or at least somewhat related. Like there's Pigs in Space, which is like a burger with bacon on it.
And also a great Muppets show sketch.
Yes, and you get to...
I had the Juan Solo.
The Juan Solo, yeah. I can't remember which
Sargas.
Yeah. I had but the thing I like about this place, and I didn't opt for it because I did not want to make myself sick. But you can go in there and say, you want a burger, however many patties you want, but you can substitute the bun for a honey bun, for a grilled cheese sandwiches, for a quesadilla, like an entire fucking quesadilla as your buns. Yes, it's phenomenal. It's really good. If you're ever in the clean area, definitely go by.
Like that food was awesome, and you could tell, like, I don't know, it just it was really well done. It was delicious.
What's funny
it's like a geeky diner. It's so good.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yes, it is. And what's funny is they work really close with the what's it called? I'm blanking out on what it's called. Anyway. No, I need to remember this. Bit Bar. They work really close with Bit Bar.
Okay. That makes sense.
Even though they're across town from Bit Bar, they will often do things like if you after you're done at Bit Bar, come by and get breakfast or whatever, basically kind of, deal with whatever alcohol you might still have in your system, as long as you got a designated driver.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, that'd be good drunk food. It was so good.
So Friday rolls by, we go to Galaxy B&B, and then we roll up on Saturday, and my wife was like, okay, she was going to take the boys to go do some stuff, but then she's like, all right, we went ahead and rented out Bit Bar for a party, and she goes, I invited a bunch of people, but unfortunately a bunch of people can't make it, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, I understand. She's like, well, we'll probably swing by in a little bit just so the kids can play video games. So let me explain this real quick. So yes, we have it's a barcade, if you've heard that term. It's you go in. Normally they're open they open from 4 to 6, and there's no cover. And then from 6 till like 1 in the morning or whatever. And then from what I understand, I'm not a beer drinker. My understanding is their beer is pretty reasonably priced. You can also now get hard liquor there, but you walk in and it's a bar, and they have all these arcade cabinets all the way around, and they are free to play. You pay your $5 and you can play as much as you want. There's a pizza place a couple doors down from it that's really good pizza, but they've started doing parties there, so you can rent it out during the day, and you can even do kids' birthday parties there. But you pay an amount of money and they open up and you can go and play games or whatever. So she's like, I went ahead and rented it out because that's what you want to do. And so y'all will swing by and eventually we'll stop by and do some of the stuff. I'm like, okay. So unbeknownst to me, the Canadians were kind of dragging their feet a little bit because they were told to kind of drag their feet a little bit.
Stop.
Yeah. So we end up getting, and they could tell that I was like, all right, well, time to go.
Yeah, Christy even said, she's like, they're going to have a hell of a time because he's just going to be like, I'm going to go play games. And
well, even he almost did it. At 11 o'clock, he's like, well, I guess we better go. I'm like, no, we can't yet. Christy will shoot us. We have to wait till 11:30.
Because I didn't get that message yet.
No, and I was like, you can't be yourself right now. We can't show up half an hour early.
Yes. So we end up getting there, and we were pulling up, and what's funny is my friend William, his wife, his significant other posted a picture of her and their daughter, that she was like, yeah, I didn't get much sleep last night. The baby's been up and down. Will is sick. And I messaged him, and I was like, dude, man, that sucks because I know you were supposed to work Bell County. And I don't remember if he even messaged me back. Well, anyway, we pull up, and there he is getting out of his car with the kid and the wife. And I'm like, hey, I thought you were working. I mean, I automatically knew he was going to be, why he was there. But like I was like, I thought you were working Bell County. He goes, yeah. He said, yeah, I just didn't. I could tell he was just like, oh crap, I majorly screwed up, which he didn't. But anyway, so we walk in and literally like Christy's grandparents have come down for the weekend just for this. My dad came up from San Antonio. My mom was there. My grandmother was there. I had Jennifer Hetzel was there. I had some other friends there. Yeah, it was really, really awesome. My wife actually had barbecue catered. Thank goodness there was chicken.
And beans.
She knew.
Yeah.
Good deal. And so we ate barbecue and had a giant cookie cake and proceeded to play arcade cabinet games for like 2 hours. It was awesome. What's really funny is what has come out of this is my wife and I have talked about this, and unless the boys change their mind, this may be where we have our boys' 6th birthday party. And I can already imagine some of the parents going, "Wait, you're having their birthday at a bar?" But the more we've talked about it, we're like, you get there, yes, it's probably gonna be about the same price, and they don't supply any pizza or anything like Chuck E. Cheese, for example, would. But
oh my God, I won't go.
But at Chuck E. Cheese, like, you have to deal with all these other kids running around being insane, whereas you have the entire bar to yourself. And as for a situation of cleanliness, I don't really see this bar being any more dirty than a Chuck E. Cheese, because a Chuck E. Cheese is pretty much just a cesspool of children's germs. So,
but in the Bit Bar was clean. Like it was nice. Clean. They do a great job of.
That was Quinny's highlight of the whole trip. He loved
that.
Nice.
Because it was all free, and he could just bounce around like a maniac.
And they did. All the kids just bounced from arcade cabinet to arcade cabinet.
Yes,
that's what it's like to go with Parker. So,
But he loved that he didn't have a limit, because there's an arcade in Sable Beach, but you have to pay ticket.
Yeah, it's not per hour; it's a per
ticket basis. And so for him to just be able to play however much he wanted to, he was just
he loved that.
He loved that.
Oh yeah, I remember his face when we broke that news to him, because you were like, okay, well, how much money do I need to take? I'm like, dude, it's all free to play. You're like, what?
I'm
like, yeah, you just go and go. So
it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Which Will and his
that was.
They were awesome, and they let me hold their little baby Evelina for like.
So sweet.
It was amazing. Thank you
slept the whole time.
for that, by the way.
She was a cutie patootie.
She was so sweet.
Yeah.
She was so soft and little.
I'm sure I was like, I'm sure they're loving the fact that they came to this party, because they're like, we don't have to hold the kid for 2 hours.
Seriously.
Yeah.
The only thing that could have made it better is if they could have fallen asleep somewhere.
Probably if they could have had a nap somewhere, it would have been like perfect for them.
I could have put a blanket on the skee ball thing, and they could have just passed out.
Yeah,
as long as Nicholas didn't hit him in the head with something.
Oh, good point. Nick really wanted to show me how to play that game, by the way.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
I took a video of the Bit Bar and I sent it to Sean. I'm like, dude, this is our retirement, man. Like we have to do this. We have to do this up there somehow. So
yeah.
Sean, I know you're watching, dude. Seriously,
I was when this place first opened up and I went in there. I was like, oh God, please, please, please let this place get enough business to stay here. The biggest thing they had running against them is it took the city forever to get them their full liquor license, so they could sell beer. They couldn't sell mixed drinks, but apparently it didn't make a dent. Like, they've been going strong ever since, and
right.
Yeah, so I just hope it continues, because I mean, even though yes, there are some guys that come in there and vape, which whatever, but it's not smoky. You know what I'm saying? You don't go in there and just like, oh God, I can't breathe. It's just it's just a chill place to be, except for whenever the giant Jenga thing falls, in which case everyone immediately stops what they're doing because it's just this loud crashing sound.
If I had any advice for them, get rid of the big giant Jenga game, because somebody's going to get hurt.
Okay.
I already have.
So Sean just wrote, I just looked up Bit Bar. What the hell's a Frito pie? All right, Sean, here you go. Frito pie is where you take Fritos and put chili on the top and then cheese, and then you can add other things like jalapeno or onion or something like that, and you eat it, and it's wonderful. That's what a Frito pie is.
Oh my God.
Salty and delicious.
Yes, it is.
That's amazing.
So we did that. We had fun at Bit Bar, and then we came back to the house. Ray and I ran to the little local Walmart to pick up a few things that we needed because he was going to make us a special meal side
Canadian meal
that I had been looking forward to forever. So we come back and he ends up making. Now, I'm still calling it poutine. Am I still saying it right or wrong?
Yeah.
Poutine is the English way.
Okay.
Poutine is the French way, and apparently the correct way. But
It's a
we'll
French
say poutine,
food.
and that's fine. It's,
Tomato.
yeah,
pretty much.
So yes, he makes a version of it as he refers to it. He's like, normally you'd have this or you'd have that, and he makes it. And I immediately, I already kind of had an idea that I was going to really like it. Yeah, I just immediately fell in love with it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to make this. This was freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
and then Kris gave you a better idea.
What did I do?
Oh yeah, you were talking about putting brisket on it.
Oh, putting brisket on it. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh yes, I will have to try that. The poor man's nachos, kinda sounds healthy. It sure as hell is. Anyway, so we did that, and while we were at the party, my dad usually comes in on Tuesday. In fact, my dad's coming in this Tuesday night, and we like to play board games together, but because it's a Tuesday and we usually work, that usually doesn't work out. So most of the time, unless he's comes in on a weekend or we're off for whatever reason, we really can't play board games. So I was a little, I don't want to say taken aback, but he's like, yeah, by the way, we're playing board games today, right? And it wasn't so much a question as it was a statement. I'm like, all right, yes, absolutely. So he comes over and I have him and my brother both trying or whatever. Oh, so before they come over, that was the other thing. So it's at this point that Kris decides we're busting out the big box that was left on the doorstep that they actually brought. And what it was...
Oh, bless him.
...was this large box of Canadian junk food. And
Goodies.
And even though she brought so much stuff, she was still like, you reminded me of, you were like the snack food version of Schindler and Schindler's List when he's like, I could have saved some more. You're literally like, I could have brought this. I could have brought that. And we're like, it's okay. We'll try it later. It's going to be all right.
Oh my God. I'm so happy.
So the first thing, there are 3 chips that they brought. They brought hickory sticks, which were good, really good. They brought the all-dressed... now, is it Ruffles or Lay's that y'all brought?
Ruffles.
They
And
were
they're
Ruffles,
Ruffles, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Which, incidentally, side note, I did post that picture, and the all-dressed Ruffles are back in at least my portion of Texas again. They have the same flavor, but it's nowhere to the extent. Like, it's a very light flavor, whereas those... It was like, yeah, it's just kind of... It's almost like you want to condense it somehow so that it becomes the Canadian version. But
Jesus.
but it's still good. But the Canadian version was much better. Like, I think of all the stuff, that was one of Christy's favorite things. But then I love you so much for bringing me these. They brought me the ketchup potato chips, which I love potato chips and ketchup. And when Kris first told me about this, I was just like, this is a thing. I have to try this. Of course, up where Jay is, he has them. I'm just like, you jackass. But yeah, so I tried it, and it was everything I was hoping it was going to be.
God, they were so good.
So good.
Oh my God.
And
They're
then
so good.
And then she starts opening up all this chocolate, and so we now know what Canadian Smarties are.
Yes.
Which, what the hell? We're totally like, our Smarties are trash.
Yes, our
Theirs
Smarties
are
are trash
so
compared to that.
good.
You know what we
Our
should have done? We should have bought some
Smarties
U.S.
are bad.
Smarties just so that we can be like, see this? This is the garbage we have to deal with.
See this
Oh,
bullshit?
So Quinny actually went to go pick up some American Smarties because he loves like rockets and stuff like that, which is what they are. So yeah, we call them rockets up here. But anyway, so he grabbed them and he's looking at them. He's like, they say Smarties.
Yeah, he got really confused. We were at a Crackle Barrel, and he was just looking at them like, that's not a
They're not
Smartie.
Smarties.
So we had to explain it to him, and he still was like, nah, I'm not buying that.
So he put them back because
Yeah,
he
he put 'em
didn't
back.
trust them.
Good boy. Good man. So yeah, so we try all this chocolate, and like I said, I'm eating some of it now. There's, I think this, and maybe there's one more of these Aero bars, and then there's, I can't remember what the other one is. Christy said she was going to eat it tonight.
Crunchy or a coffee crisp?
Oh no! Oh, so that was the other thing.
Jersey.
So the Jersey. That's what it was. That's what she's finishing off. And I forgot to ask my partner because I I took one of the coffee flavored ones to my partner because she
Yeah.
loves coffee. So I forgot to ask her what she thought of that. I'll have to do that tomorrow morning. So
If her response is anything other than, "Oh God, my life is different now," then I don't trust her.
knowing Kim, probably that will probably be
My
close
God.
to her response. So
They were so good.
yes, they were very good.
Your granny loved the coffee crisp.
Yes.
Oh,
Because
yes.
it's delicious. It's kind of like, it just tastes like they'd put like every other wafer in like espresso or something. It's so good. I love them so much.
And and I disagree with y'all about, was it the Mr. Big?
Wonder Bar.
Oh, the Wonder Bar in the freezer?
Yeah, the Wonder Bar. I actually preferred it not in the freezer just because of the way that it just kind of melted. And it was just like, pillowy is the best way I could describe it. And I know people look at me weird when I say that. I'm like, no, you understand. It was pillowy. So, anyway.
No, so the trick is, and it's very difficult to do. The trick is to get it warm, but then like throw it in the freezer very briefly just to get it hard coating, and then that way you still get it kind of warm and gooey in the middle.
I
think I need to come to Canada and do some candy studies.
Born Distracted,
Please let
yes. They did, of course, bring me a jar of maple syrup.
Yes, we did.
Oh, and
yes.
all the things they brought, and there is actually, I take that back, there is a very small piece left because we're like hoarding it like fucking gold. The maple candy.
Yeah.
So good.
We literally we broke off a little piece, and you literally just put it in your mouth, and you just let it sit there, and it literally is just like, it's like condensed hardened sugar that is just slowly melting, and it just kind of, it does these little landslides of just sugary goodness, and it's just like, oh
I'll
my
tell you
God,
what.
it's so good.
Canada tastes pretty damn good.
Yes, it does.
It does. My life is different. Like the coffee crisp and like the Maltesers, like
Oh yeah,
nothing's ever going to be the same for me ever again. Like I walked past a box of Whoppers in the store today and wanted to like smack them. I was just like, "You're just
So
an
much better than a
imposter."
Whopper. So much
Oh my
better than a
God.
Whopper.
So much better than a Whopper. It's all of it. It's the chocolate around it is better quality, and it's like the actual like the malty is
It's not
maltier.
as hard. Yes, it's not as hard.
No,
it's
softer,
yeah.
and the malt stuff in the middle is actual malt. Like, oh God, it's so good.
it was very good.
It's very hard to eat the candy because I was like, but if I eat it, it won't still be here for me later.
Yes, that's the problem. So anyway, my dad comes over, and of course we're having him and my brother try some of this candy, and so the girls excuse themselves to the living room when we're watching Glee, I think, and talking about whatever we're watching.
I think Logan was watching Glee. We were
I know we're
chatting.
talking anyway. So my brother and me and Ray and my dad start playing board games. So we start off with Roll For It, which was a lot of fun. And then we moved on to Ticket to Ride, which...
It was a lot of fun.
Yes. And then we finished up with Corkle. So
Yes.
all really fun
have
games.
So Sean, I know you're watching still. I did get while I was down there, I did get the Tickets to Ride, and it's awesome, and so it's on the list, and we figured out a way for Sean and myself to join Eugene in a game, and we'll figure that out soon. So
Absolutely, that'll be a blast. So
May I point out, by the way, that while the boys were in there playing board games, Christy and I were sitting in the living room with Kris, helping Kris watch the boys play board games, which is fucking hilarious. It's just Eugene and Rudy and their dad making this like 3 different versions of the exact same face.
Yeah.
And then like every 10 to 15 minutes or so, Eugene's like yelling at Rudy and calling him a jackass.
he
And then Rudy
fucking
just sits
he
there.
screwed me so hard.
As he does every game, and Rudy's like, strategy, it's strategy, dude, strategy. I'm just like,
But I have
Kris, was like,
never
just
been
watch.
that.
It's-
I've never been screwed that hard in this game. Like literally, I spent 4/5. Thank you. I spent 4/5 of that game trying to get enough points so by the end of the game I wouldn't be in the hole. Like,
oh God, it was so funny.
oh
and you were close.
yes, it came down. I think I only had like 10 points left over, and like I think Rudy fucking lapped me by the end of it. But yeah, it was.
No,
ridiculous.
that
He's
was
ruthless.
me. Sorry,
No,
Did
don't
you win?
apologize.
I won that game.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's that
Rudy
Canadians
runs
get
second game of it.
Manifest Destiny too.
Yeah. So we ended up going to bed. Had an awesome Saturday, and then Sunday rolls around, and some other stuff was supposed to work out, but Christy ended up having to take the boys, and she was like, "Oh, I'm just going to take them." She specifically asked that her grandparents get a hotel that had a pool, so she could take the boys because she didn't think that they would really enjoy going to Austin, which was the plan. And they wouldn't have. They would not have enjoyed that. She's like, "Well, you take the Canadians down there and meet Lainey," and our friend Jennifer's like, "Oh, hey, I'm down here. Can I join you?" And we're like, "Yeah, absolutely. That'd be awesome." So we I get up that morning, and unfortunately, that's what it was. And no, it wasn't that morning. It was the next morning. Get up, and I'm like, okay, I eat something for breakfast. I don't even remember what I had for breakfast, but my stomach is not sitting well. Like it was just sour all day, if you know what I mean. And I was just like, well, son of a bitch, this sucks. So Christy takes the boys, and I'm like, all right, well, we're gonna head down to Austin. Of course, we're like, hey, Lainey, you're gonna join us? She's like, yeah, I'll just meet you down there.
I had actual stuff come up. I did have some horsey stuff come down. That
anyway. So I'm like, are y'all hungry? And they're like, yeah, we're kind of hungry. And I'm like, well, let's see, what's around here that we can eat? And I'm like, ideally, I would take them to Whataburger, but like I said, the whole beef thing. Anyway, so I'm like, let's do Jack in the Box. Y'all don't have Jack in the Box, so there's one right here. So we got Jack in the Box. And Ray insists on paying, and I'm just like, dude, you're gonna kill me, but like my stomach is not set right. I'm just gonna get a soda. And they're like, okay, well, whatever. So I ordered a large. I ordered a large soda from Jack in the Box. And when they hand me the small swimming pool that is a Texas size large, the Canadians are just like, what the fuck is that? Because it's literally like it's about this big around on the bottom. So
reshape the bottom to fit in the cup holder. It's
the bottom
big.
is the small. The bottom is this small, so it fits in the cup holder. Chris is completely right. And then as it goes up, it just keeps getting larger and larger and larger. And that's what she said. And it's ginormous. And it was just hilarious to see them like, that is ridiculous. Well, we go to leave, and they forgot the fries. So Ray's like, I'm going to run in real quick and get the fries. So it's like, okay. So he comes back out and he goes, yeah, they're like, oh, sorry about the fries. Here, do you want a molten chocolate cake or cheesecake? And he's like, well, I don't need either one. They're like, no, you're taking one. Which one do you want?
Jesus.
Welcome to Texas hospitality. No, I'm thanking you.
Yeah.
You don't get to turn down the thanks.
Yeah. No.
So we eat in the car on the way down there. Yeah, we eat on the car on the way down there. And
we eat, you drink,
and I drink, and we get down there, and I'm messaging Jennifer, and she's like, well, if you're going to Dragon's Lair, maybe you should do that first because that's on the north side. Everything is on the south side. I'm like, that's smart. So we end up meeting Jennifer at Dragon's Lair, and I've heard about this place. I just have never been down there yet.
It's so awesome.
It is a very large, but it's an extremely, it's got hardwood floors. It's a super, it's like the nicest comic book / board game store you'll ever see.
Oh yeah, it's nice.
And I love that they give you the demos, and you can just pull out the stuff to play and see if you actually enjoy the game before you buy it. I think that's really smart.
The kids could have wandered around that place forever. They really liked it. It was
could
nice.
have wandered around that place forever. Yeah.
I could have spent a lot of money there.
A lot of money could have been spent there.
Yeah. Well, while we're there, we're looking at all these different board games, and like Ray said, they actually have versions out there you can pull out and play to see if you like it, which is phenomenal. And then they have all these tables set up near kind of, I'd say, the back part that has people are playing like these role playing games. These
like D&D.
Yeah,
they were playing Magic. Some of them, and a couple of them were playing D&D, and
yeah. So that was a ton of fun, and Jennifer met us about that time, and Logan ends up finding this pineapple.
Bloody.
Yeah, girl.
It's like this big, like it's this humongous plush, like the size of the pillow.
Yeah.
Pineapple.
Just massive.
Yes.
She had to have it.
She had to have that.
I get it.
Did Quinn get anything, or what did Quinn get?
He got 2 decks. He got a Sun and Moon deck Pokemon.
That's what it was. Yes, that's right, because that leads into Sunday morning. Anyway, or Monday morning. So we're there, and and then Ray ended up buying Ticket to Ride. So
yes, which it does have the small cards, and you're right. wish I could have got the larger cards, but oh well.
You know what? Like I said, it's not that expensive an upgrade. Maybe sometime in the future you can look to doing that. So
yeah.
So we hang out there for a little bit, and then we decide we're going to go to the Austin Toy Museum. So we go to the toy museum, and it's definitely in an older part of the town. Could be a little scary at night. Would be scary at night. I'll just put it that way.
I would not.
I wouldn't travel there at night.
Yeah.
No later than we were there.
Yeah.
No. So we get there, and Lainey, they've actually changed quite a few things since we've been there.
Really?
Yeah. So you walk in, and you know how there was that one little section that had all the old arcade or console games. That's now a comic shop, and like the right hand part of the store is a comic shop. So you go in like you normally do. All the arcade games are now in the very back, and they're all set up back there to play.
Where like he was like keeping all that stuff.
All that junk is cleared out. Yeah.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, he's actually expanded it back there. So we walk in, and there's just like it's if you go through my Instagram feed, you can see tons of pictures of it, especially from about a year ago. And it's just like it's these huge dioramas set up of like all these old, like 70s version Star Wars toys, and then there's He-Man, and there's Transformers, and there's G.I. Joe, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and on and on and on.
It was a bit of like the She-Ra
sure.
toys, and yes, Rainbow Bright,
He-Man, yeah.
There's a little bit of something there, and then like I pointed out, we first walk in there, and like I tell Kris and Ray, I'm like, turn around, look up, and there's this wall, and it just has all these old 80s style lunch boxes. Like you probably had one of these as a kid. They had the Transformers and Dukes of Hazzard. I mean, if you could think of it, they probably had one or, something similar to it. So, so we wandered around there, played some games, just had a good time or whatever. Ray started asking some questions about where he could find Amalgam Comics.
And I finally met somebody that was as excited about Amalgam Comics as I am. And he's like, dude, you gotta look at this, you gotta look at this, you gotta find this. And he's starting to write up a list, and he was excited that I knew about it because he doesn't get asked that question a lot.
I can imagine. So yeah, we had a good time there. We after that, I asked Jennifer. I was like, well, where should we? That's right. That's where we went next. I almost forgot about that. So that was like one of the main missions was that Ray was like, I need a new hat.
I had to get my driver's hat.
So I was looking up different hats, and I actually found a haberdashery on Congress.
Jesus Christ!
It was actually it was nowhere near as douchey as you're thinking, Lainey. I'll just tell you right now.
No, it was nice.
It was nice.
Yeah. So Ray found him a hat, and I almost found 2 or 3 hats I would have liked to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very nice store. But I mean, the hats definitely seem like they're good quality, and they're not like cheap hats that they're just overinflated.
No, it was nice. It was really nice place.
So we find Ray a hat, and, kind of goof off there. They were really nice there. And it was at that point I was like, well, where do you think? I was thinking about taking them to like Torchy's Tacos, and Jennifer was like, well, Kirby Lane is a kind of an Austin staple. Why don't we take them there? So I'm like, okay. So we go to Kirby Lane, and I'm still not feeling great, which sucks because Kirby Lane is awesome. Yeah. I had to go get some.
That's how I knew you were not feeling well. Like I knew you were not feeling well at all because I'm looking at this food. I'm like, how is he not eating any of this?
Yes.
You want to talk food that changed your life, Lainey? That white queso with guacamole at Kirby Lane.
Dude, I know.
Oh, I had dreams about it.
It's so good. It is so good. I love Kirby Lane.
I went to his aunt's house yesterday, and she made us queso and I was I had 2 bites. I'm like, I can't. I feel like I'm cheating on it. Like
it was served cold.
Because you are. No. Oh.
I love my aunt. She's a sweetheart. She tried.
Mm-hmm.
I think somebody said something in the chat room.
It tasted good.
It wasn't. No.
I'm sorry. I can see how if you were talking into an iPhone and doing that sentence, it would be it tasted ... good.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
She tried. But yeah, that queso at Kirby Lane, I could have just eat that for lunch. It was so good.
So good.
That is a thing that Krista used to do with her best friend Chad in high school. Like they would late at night, and your kids and your high school, college age, you're like, well, we don't have a lot of money, so they'd literally go find a place that had queso and just sit down and eat queso all night. So
yeah, that's what we did in College Station. We'd go to Dollar Margarita night, order chips and queso, and just get plastered for like $5.
There you go.
Yeah, I can see that. It's so good.
Yeah, of all the things here in Texas, the queso was probably one of the most mind-blowing for the Canadians.
Well, because the queso at Galaxy B&B was really good too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it was good. Yeah.
It's hard to find a place in Texas that doesn't have good queso.
And there's different versions. Like I said, I really like the white queso. My brother isn't so much into it, which I'm just like, whatever, dude.
I only like it at Kirby Lane.
But the white queso with the guacamole.
Oh yeah,
that's why.
Yep,
was magical.
Yes, it was.
So,
so after that, we ended up going by another quick. We needed to burn a little bit of time because the other thing that we were looking to do, kind of the other main purpose of going to Austin, was to see this this particular attraction that only happens at a certain time during the day, and we ended up going into another little comic shop that was right there. Like I said, we were burning a little bit of time. And we found a different version of Ticket to Ride. Now, had it not been $80, I'm pretty sure my Canadian friends would have bought it because it was Ticket to Ride, Rails and Sales. If I hadn't bought
the other one already.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was Ticket to Ride, Rails and Sales. And this one has not just train tracks, but you also have to do shipping routes, across oceans and stuff. And on one side of the board, it is the entire globe. And you flip the board, and it's just the Great Lakes. And you will not believe what little town is literally on this board game.
Port Elgin, Ontario
is on this board game.
Now we
not too far from us.
Not too far from us. It's north of us, but we're really close.
It's where we used to live, and it was hilarious. So I saw that one, and I had to show Kris. And
it was pretty cool.
Makes me still want to buy it, but
I may have to own that one if nothing else. But just because I'm sure it's added a bunch of other gameplay mechanics that would make it fun. So
yeah.
But so after that, what we did was we went down to Congress Bridge, and I have lived in Texas all my life, and I've never actually done this. So this was my first time actually going as well.
Aww.
And that is Austin is known for, even though we are in Texas, and it's fucking hot as balls down here. Austin is known for the bats. They have a huge bat colony. Like it's 1.5 million strong. And so what happens is right at sunset, if you can stand on the bridge, of course occasionally the wind blows and you get a nice waft of the guano.
It's all part of the experience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
But you stand on this bridge and you literally just watch like 1 million bats fly out from this bridge. And what's funny is they come out in these streams, and they if you ever seen like what kind of birds is it you said y'all have up there that do that?
Oh, it's the bugs.
It's the bugs.
Oh, it's the bugs. Okay.
We have these bugs. Like they're just tiny bugs, but they'll stream, and it almost looks like a dust cloud, and they're kind of moving, and that's exactly
it's like a river of bugs. But this time it was a river of bats, so it was a little less disgusting.
Yeah.
It was awesome to see.
Oh, it was really cool.
What was really cool to watch was watching them kind of you'd get like the one side of the bridge going, and then the middle part of the bridge would start going, and then they'd kind of join into the other bat stream, and then you'd get the far left side going, and they'd start joining in, so you have all these little streams kind of. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Like traffic that actually worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Traffic
well,
that
bats
actually
are better
works.
at that than humans are.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we watched that, which was, the kids were getting kind of hot and tired up to that point, which I understand. But then once the bats started actually showing up, I think they were okay.
Well, they were good for the first 5 minutes, and then they were like,
okay, we're
done.
watching bats.
Still bats.
And,
of course, the adults were just like, oh my God, this is a lot of fucking bats.
Yeah.
And then the guy kind of buttoned in on Quinn. That was kind
of... yeah, that's stupid terrorist.
Yeah, there was a Indian tourist that was there, and I don't think he really realized he was kind of butting in as much as he was.
No, I don't think he did.
No.
He was just super excited to take his video of these bats.
So
It's like, yeah, okay, buddy, go ahead. You're not going to be able to get much on video.
No.
Ryan,
No.
Oh, slow clap.
that sounds crazy. ... batshit crazy, really. Oh,
There it is.
yeah, there it is. But so yeah, we went and watched the bats, and then we said goodbye to Jennifer at that point, and made our way back home. And it was lightning really far off in the distance, and there were thunderstorms blowing in. So we get home, and we pull out of the car, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna go back out. I've got to run in the bathroom real quick. I'm gonna run out and go ahead and put the car seats, the boys' car seats, back in Christy's car. So I didn't close the big garage door. And I come out of the bathroom, and Christy's like, where were you? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, well, the back door's open. And I'm like, oh, hell, I guess the wind kind of blew it open. So I closed that. Didn't really think about it. Sat down. We talked for a while, and now we're all tired at this point. We've had a long day. Christy's been out in the sun with the boys. You know, we've been out running around and hot and
we
tired.
were happy we were getting to bed before midnight. I remember we all said that.
That's right. It was like 11:30, 11:45. We're like, all right, we will see y'all tomorrow. Let's go to bed. Yeah. And I start doing the normal procedure for wrapping up the evening, and I go to call Ruby and Max, and I'm like, well, where the hell are they? Now, number one, so I've got two dogs. I've got a Basset Hound, and I've got a Yorkie. My Basset Hound doesn't give a shit about like fireworks or thunder or anything like that. She's just chill. She's cool. Good to go. My Yorkie, on the other hand, anything he thinks that sounds even remotely like thunder or lightning or anything is immediately hiding beside the toilet, to the point that like Kris was like, why is your dog in here by the toilet? I'm trying to use the bathroom.
Like, is he okay? Am I allowed to pee beside him? Like, is this a thing?
Yeah, I'm
Is
just
he a
like,
freak?
yeah,
I don't know.
he's a retard. Just, yeah. But so, and just a little side note on him. He actually lost a lot of blood when he was a puppy, so I really do think he has some issues. But anyway, so we're like, okay, well, where are they? And we're like, it's fucking thundering and lightning and storming. Like, the rain is coming down hard at this point. We're like, where the fuck are they? Surely they're not outside. We went through the house multiple times. Yeah. Could not find them. Finally make the decision, well, surely they did not. There's no way in hell they both went out. So Christy gets in the car. She goes to start driving. As soon as she pulls off, here comes Ruby running down the middle of the street, happy as a lark. Comes right up to Ray. I grab a towel. Yeah. I grab a towel, dry her off, and we're like, okay, well, now we got to find Max. Because there's no way Max is out here. Because, like I said, if it even remotely sounds like it's going to thunder or anything like that, he just, like, clams it. Nope. Dumbass apparently followed his sister outside. And Ray and I spent the next 2 hours on and off walking and driving in the rain in our cars with flashlights, like, flashing around in the neighborhood calling for this fucking dog. And I'm just like, go on.
I had, so now I'm driving in a car with Ontario plates, flashing flashlight into these people's, like, front doors, trying to, and then, of course, the thunder's going, you don't have normal thunder down there. You had thunder that set off people's car alarms. So as I'm slowly going by a car, flashing the flashlight, guess what happens? Crack of thunder, alarms going off. I roll up my windows and I drive down the rest of the street and I turn the corner.
Roll them up.
I'm not looking anymore because this guy's not going to jail in Texas.
Absolutely. So we do that for another couple of hours, and I'm just like, it doesn't matter. Even if he heard us, he's too scared to come out at this point. I'm like, okay. So we all go to bed, wake up the next morning. And we're like, okay, Ray's got to take care of a few things before they head out. And he's like, I got to go get an oil change and do a few things.
Which I will talk about the oil change in a minute.
Okay. So we get up, and I think that's what it was. I had to go. I went and dropped the boys off to school.
Yeah, they had school.
And Christy, they didn't want to go. Christy went and did something else, and she drove the neighborhood to see if she could call Max. Didn't show up. I came back, drove the neighborhood, couldn't call Max. And about that time, Ray's like, well, I'm going to go take care of a few things. And walks out to his car and is just like, all right, I'm just going to give it a shot or whatever. And calls Max, and here he comes. The little dumbass runs down the street. So he comes home. He's fine.
So I see him go to the front door, and I'm like, if I don't let him in, he's going to run away again. So I go to the front door and I'm reaching over him and he's frozen, looking up at me like, "Oh, this is it. This is where I die." And as he sees me reaching for the door handle, he gets really excited. He starts jumping up and down and like, "Yes, I'm being let in. I'm gonna live." And
I'm gonna live. Oh my God.
Well, Lainey knows, like, when we make Ruby's voice, it's kind of like this, like, "Oh, I'm
the bus at home.
I'm a bus at home." Yeah, and she has multiple sayings. Max only has 2 sayings. "I'm a dog. I don't want to die." That's the only thing. 2 things that go through his head. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. So anyway, Max comes home. We're fine. We're good to go. Now, tell me about this. I don't know. Did you tell me about this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went and got the oil changed in my car.
Because it had a long trip.
It had a long trip, and it was due. It was due for an oil change. So went to the oil shop, or went to the spot where they do the oil change, and pull in, and the guy's looking at me, and so I pop the hood, and he lifts it up, and he's kind of looking underneath, and he starts doing this, and he's rubbing it, trying to look at the numbers and stuff on the hood of the car. I'm like, that's supposed to be there. That oil is supposed to be there. Up here in Ontario, like up here in Canada, we oil our cars because the salt will rust out the car.
The salt we put on the road in the wintertime.
So he's looking at me like, "Did you leave the cap open and drive around without the cap open?" No, dude, that's supposed to be there.
Bro.
I forgot about this.
So you just left the cap off. Like,
no.
No, dude. It's supposed to be there. And he's like, "Yeah, okay." So he does his other little thing, and he's I don't know, whatever else he's doing. The other guy drains it. He's like, "All right, give me the can you turn your car on and give me the miles?" Like, so I turn it on. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm at 26,000 kilometers, so that's 16,000 miles." It says 26. Yeah, no, I get that. This is in kilometers, so it's 16,000 miles. Yeah, okay, buddy. He walks away and he gives me those 16,000 miles and just didn't believe anything I was saying.
None of them believed you at all.
No, so
it's got Canadian plates.
Yeah.
I know. So the guy underneath, I'm sure he had a conversation like, "You should have seen how dirty the car was. There's oil everywhere underneath."
Well, that's because he drives around with his gas cap off and his oil cap on.
What a dummy.
So yeah, he was just looking at me sideways the whole time. I think he was glad to be rid of me because he didn't trust anything I said.
No, absolutely not. It's weirdos talking about kilometers, driving around with the oil cap off. What the fuck? Oh my God, that's hilarious. Yeah, I forgot about you.
We're driving. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and then so they come back, and this is one of the other things. Oh, 2 things. So while we're on the bridge with the bats, I remembered a conversation that we had about Thanksgiving, and I messaged Christy and I said, "Hey, do we still have any cornbread dressing frozen?" And she's like, "Yeah, I think so." I'm like, "Can we thaw out a little bit?" She's like, "No, I'll just thaw out the whole thing." I'm like, "All right, fine." So she's like, "We'll have that for dinner tomorrow night." All right, cool. Well, that morning we get up and we started talking about the biscuits for breakfast, and we mentioned biscuits and gravy, which is a staple here. Even though we're in Texas, we're kind of in the South, but not really. So she's like, "Well, I'm going to make biscuits and gravy." And apparently that went over really well.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good.
Yeah.
It was yeah,
It was delicious.
Thank God there's pepper in there.
Yes.
I'm glad, because we were a little worried because she explained how it was made. I'm like,
Sounds like it's a roux for bechamel.
It is.
Yeah.
which it is, but it's taste. There's
more
flavorful because of the pepper and everything else. But here I'm picturing just flour, and so I asked her, like, "Is there butter in it?" She looked at me sideways, like, "No, there's no butter. It's just flour and milk." And I'm like, okay.
It works out.
Yeah.
It's at this point where I'm sorry, go on.
No, I just it gave me so on our way home, it gave me the flavor gave me enough that courage to try it. So I tried it at a restaurant on the way home too. So I'll talk about that after.
Oh, okay, cool. At this point, we decide we're gonna split up. We've got a lot of things that we need to accomplish before the Canadians head home the next day. So we're gonna split up and we're gonna take care of some different things. And Ray and I run out to run a couple of errands, and while we're out, the girls, Kris was like, she wanted to get a tattoo. So Christy was like, well, here, we can go down to my tattoo place and take care of that. So they went and did that. And Ray and I were out running around taking care of a few errands. And he's like, hey, we want to get like Christy a kind of a nice, hostess gift or whatever. So got her a couple bottles of wine and went and picked up this other thing. And then, and I say that because I don't know if the kids are watching anyway, are going to watch anyway.
Yeah,
So anyway, we do that and like, okay, are you hungry for lunch? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, how about I take you to Freebirds, which in Texas is.
Yeah, it was just you and me for that one.
Yeah.
And, cause we were looking for a spot to eat. And so, yeah, you mentioned Freebirds. I'm like, is your stomach okay for it?
Yeah. I figured out that I had eaten, like I wasn't sick. Something had just not set well with me. So yeah, I was like, no, I'm feeling good. I'm doing all right.
Canadian food, it's okay.
Yeah, no, it better not be the poutine because I got sick later on in the week and there was nothing to do with poutine. Anyway, because I'll be very sad because that was very good. Anyway,
oh yeah,
we ended up going to Freebirds, which is like, I hate saying this because it sounds like I'm really putting down Freebirds for saying this, but it's like a
Chipotle.
Chipotle
It's the only thing that I can
because they
describe
make
it as. Yeah.
burritos, but yes, it's much better than anyway.
When they do it right, it's really good.
Yes.
Yeah, because you guys have queso that you can put in your burrito.
Which yes, of course.
Life-changing food over here. He's like, if there's a Freebird, I don't care if we've just eaten. We're pulling off the side of the road.
I'm getting one for the...
Dude, they reheat stupid well. Like,
yes, they do. Yes,
They're only in Texas, though. I didn't see them anywhere else.
No, we didn't see any.
They're slowly but surely branching out, so...
Okay.
Well, come to Ontario, because...
Well, there we go. That's what we can do. We can move up there and open a barcade and a Freebirds, and we'll be good to go.
Done.
So,
Sean and I are setting it up, so
they've been
we'll get this.
talking.
Yeah. So we get back. Everyone gets back or whatever, and we decide that we're going to go to what's it called? Chick-fil-A, and we picked up chicken nuggets there.
Yep.
And we're gonna have chicken nuggets, and we're gonna have cornbread dressing. And I think that was probably the thing that really made the most impact or whatever. So,
well, we weren't sure what to expect because we were talking about, our favorite dressings and stuff like that. And we talked about like Kris's and my favorite up here in Canada is stovetop stuffing because that's just the
preservatives.
staple. It's,
makes it taste better.
Yeah. So to have homemade cornbread stuffing, dear God.
It was good. It was very delicious.
If I didn't stop, I would have felt like you the next day. And I didn't want that for the ride home.
No.
Yep, I understand.
I could have ate like half that pan, dear God.
Yeah, that was a good meal. And then the other thing, the last thing that happened throughout the day was I ended up I wanted to give their kids something, so I had Quinn and Logan both. Yes, there you go. Both come 3D print a fidget spinner.
Logan's is in her room.
Yeah. And so they 3D printed fidget spinners, which I felt so bad at one point. The boys were back at the house at this point, and Logan comes up to me and wants to know if we can 3D print one. And I had already done something else at that time, and I was in the process of making a joke with her that I've already done this thing, and you want something else? And my boys asked me something out of nowhere, which like I had to answer them because they were like yelling it at me. And so I didn't get to like immediately tell, like I was in the process of trying to tell her, oh, I'm just kidding, absolutely. And I think I hurt her feelings, and I feel horrible for that.
Oh, she's so sensitive. She's super sensitive.
But I'm like, no, I was kidding, absolutely. I'll make you a fidget spinner. Yeah, but the thing that I ended up making was Ray brings up, he goes, they had these clip things that like you pull the headrest up and the two bars that are there, it clips onto that and allows you to put like, a tablet, an iPad or something there. And that's what the kids watched on the way down, which is genius. Yes. But hers, one of the clips on it broke. And he was like, do you have a clip or something or something we can use?
Sweet.
And I looked at it and I was like, give me a minute. And within about an hour and a half, I had designed and 3D printed a replacement clip, and we had it installed, and apparently it worked wonderfully for the trip
it
back.
did.
So.
It was great. It was perfect.
So
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's why I had made for her, and then of course I kind of made the joke because I already made this for you, and anyway. So I'm glad she didn't get her phone.
It worked great. Yeah.
But yeah, so we did that, and then we just kind of hung out, I think, the rest of the evening. And it was very sad the next day when y'all had to go back. So I got to meet my Canadian friends in real life, which was so awesome.
So that's kind of where it ended for you, and then we started driving back home.
3 days of driving, yes.
And so we stopped off just east of Memphis. There's I can't remember what it was called. But anyway,
the town.
It was like Wolf Chase near Memphis, where we stopped for the first night, and so we mentioned it in the pre-show, but Kris agreed to listen to Ready Player One on. We didn't on audio.
Listen to that.
We started on the way there.
Yeah.
So that was kind of nice.
We were sick of listening to all the country stations. We couldn't find a good music station.
Yeah.
Couldn't find one.
Dude.
Especially
I feel you.
Going through Kentucky there, it was like, okay.
Yikes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, we were listening to that. The road, we only hit a little bit of rain on the way down, and then on the way back, we didn't hit. I think we had like a little bit of drizzle that first day. It was really good the whole way there, and then I lost my sunglasses somewhere in Memphis.
Oh, he's so mad. They're prescription sunglasses too. They're Maui Jims, which are super expensive.
So somewhere in that either hotel or the pizza place that we went to, they're gone.
Oh no!
I 3 times now, and they have yet to call me back. And they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll look into that for you," and then nothing. So I'm kind of frustrated by that, but it is what it is.
If that's the only hiccup for the trip.
That was our hiccup. That was
a hiccup. He lost his.
And I didn't want to say that. Well, there's our hiccup because
exactly
Apollo 13.
You fucking went Apollo 13. I'm on the phone trying to tell you how to
So, that was our hiccup, and then we went to. We finished up where did we go for? Oh, we had that pizza. That's right.
Oh yeah, we went to Pyro's.
Yeah, I went to Pyro's Fire Fresh Pizza
place.
Decent pizza, and then went over to back to Cincinnati. Went Mason is actually where we stayed for that other night. I didn't want to go to a restaurant, so we got. Oh, that's right. So
we went to
in Memphis, just outside Memphis, the Wolf Chase area. We went to a Perkins, and Perkins is a southern food type of restaurant, and that's one of our stops that we make because they have good breakfasts, good coffee, and so we go there, and I ordered, and that's what I was saying, the biscuits. They had biscuits, but they had chicken and biscuits with white gravy and eggs, and I was like, hash browns. This sounds good.
He had it twice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, he was addicted to it because we stopped at Perkins in Mason too.
Yeah. So, and what was cool about the one in Mason, so we went through Mason, and in the morning we made sure that our route hit the same Perkins that we hit on the way down. So on the way down, we met a lovely woman named Karen. She'd been working there for 22 years.
Oh my goodness!
So she was a sweetheart. She gave us 4 cookies for our way down to go see you.
Oh, nice.
So we walked in there, and guess who's standing at the door?
Nice.
And she immediately recognized. She's like, "How was your trip? Did you surprise your friend?" And she goes right in. Thing.
She was wonderful.
She was a sweetheart. So, and I had said that for the restaurants or for any of the stops along the way to get down to you, I didn't really have any good coffee other than at Perkins. Like at your place was fine because the coffee was good, but I said that coffee on the road is kind of what I was looking for, and it's a secret, so I'm not some woman gave me a bag of coffee to take home with me.
Fuck yeah.
She was awesome. She's
like, this is our little secret, and hands him a bag.
She hands me this bag. It's Perkins' bag. It looks like there's treats inside of there, and I'm looking in, and I see foil. I'm like, oh, did she give me some biscuits? And she Kris looks at it more. She's like, it's a bag of coffee. I'm like, that's awesome.
So excited. It made the rest of the road trip so much better for him because he was like, I got Perkins coffee.
Yeah, it was awesome. So I'm saving that for a special day.
That'll be rationed pretty hardcore.
So, yeah.
But we just want to say we had one of the best trips ever.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are so amazing and so chill. It was so relaxing. And it was amazing. You guys are awesome. It's like we've known you forever. Just hanging out with you. It was so cool.
After the initial shock of seeing you in person.
Yes.
In real life.
It was like, it's like we've known you forever.
Yeah.
And it was awesome to hang out with you guys.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us. Lainey, you are amazing. And you were so awesome with Logan. Thank you so much.
Try. Children are kind of my thing, so.
Well, you made her whole...
that was
she's never
we didn't
been
even
like,
mention that part.
No,
we didn't even mention the cleaning the horses.
Yeah, so on Monday,
oh, yeah.
Lainey took Logan to go to your horse barn and just hang out with her. Like that was a big reason why she didn't want to leave, because she just wanted to hang out with you the whole time.
Yeah.
Hey, man, there's something to be said for girls and horses. It's just peanut butter and jelly, so it's a good little spot. So, yeah. I had a ton of fun.
I think you've officially made it to her role model status. Like,
yes, because I want to be Logan when I grow up.
I think that's supposed to be the other way around.
It is the other way around, too.
Also, she's so much cooler than I am.
She's super cool. And then the fact that Nicholas took such a liking to Logan. Like, that is his girlfriend.
You've got good kids.
Oh, and you have amazing children. Your children are so awesome.
Oh, my God. Can I add, by the way, the thing that Eugene was talking about earlier, where he was like kind of picking at Logan and just like thought he may have accidentally hurt her feelings.
Yeah.
So Christy, because this is what Christy does, Eugene's wife, starts, messing with him and looks at Nick and says, Nicholas, Daddy made Logan cry. And Nicholas and looks up at his dad like, Nick was ready to come to blows. Like, he was not having any part of it. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Your kids are so sweet.
Nick was going to go to bat for his woman.
Yeah, he was. But no, y'all's kids are amazing, too. Like, just getting to hang out with, like, Quinn and Logan and, like, be around them and just, like, they're both so smart and so funny and very unique, and I love it. I think it's a true testament to the two of you. Like, they're both very comfortable with being exactly who they are, and who they are is like two really cool kids who are an actual like joy to be around. So
ditto.
Absolutely. They were so much fun. We had so much fun. I got to take the Canadians out to the barn. And
we went to the barn, and it was fucking hot.
Pictures of music.
We got pictures of music. My feet were swollen. It was amazing. My feet didn't actually stop swelling until we got home to Canada. Like, I was worried. I'm like, I have edema from Texas. Like, we're going to have to go to the hospital. I'm going to have to stroke. Oh, my ankles just swelled. I had cankles. And no matter how much I put them up, it wasn't until we actually got home the next day. I'm like, oh, there are my ankles.
It's the damn cedar. That's what it is.
God, it was so hot. But going out to your barn was so awesome.
Yeah.
Seeing the
Nice
horses.
and quiet. Go figure, raise like a natural around animals. Music was like, all right, what up, dude? Go for it.
You know what? It was really cool, him starting to headbutt me there a little bit.
Man, he liked you.
Dude, bring it in. It's all good.
He did. He really liked you. And so I'm always surprised with him. He's a pretty good judge of character, though. So I was like, all right. I was like, so we're all good then.
Oh, yeah.
One other thing I wanted to bring up that we forgot to mention. What was that the second night y'all were here? Was the third night? Anyway, one of the nights we decided, instead of going back and forth talking about, because we were talking about temperature, we were talking about distance and everything else.
That was the second day, you and me.
That's right. Ray and I sat down with our phones, and we have a dry erase board on our refrigerator, and we basically just wrote out like most of the conversions that we were talking about. So instead of having to constantly looking up, and we basically refer to it as our Rosetta Stone. So that Ray could go, he's like, yeah, man, it was down to 13. We'd look at the board. Oh yeah, that is cool.
It worked.
Yes,
and then
it did.
The
it was
whole
awesome.
Kilometers and miles thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then all the other interesting stuff that we never have mentioned on this show that you bring up the fact that like your buildings are in feet and inches and and I'm just like so weird. Yeah, just weird stuff.
It's weird.
It's weird.
Yeah, our roads, we all like speed and everything's all in meters and kilometers and all that stuff. But
and speaking of speeding, so I thought Texas was known for being leadfoots, right? So Ray comes down here and he goes, so I noticed like your roads are like at like 70, 65 or whatever. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, and I'm thinking for sure he's going to be like, what's up the hell with all these people just like flying by you, like whatever. And he's like, everyone's only driving like 5 miles over the hour, like 5 miles per hour, the limit. He's like, what's up with that? I'm like, what do you mean's up with that? He's like, we go like 10, like standard over the limit. I'm just like, yeah, 20, they'll bust you for their ass.
20K.
20K over. And
20K over. So that's why I say in 10 miles, you're at 16 kilometers over. Nobody they won't even sniff you.
Oh no, here they'd bust your ass.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because that's what my big worry is.
Oh, she was terrified.
We have family down in the Greater Toronto area, and the 400 series highway down there is the busiest highway series in North America.
60-mile-an-hour limit.
Yes. But in the left lane, where that's the path, everybody goes fast in that lane, it's 140 kilometers an hour. That's standard, that's flow of
so
traffic.
You're like 35 mile an hour.
Over
Jeez.
the speed limit.
85 mile an hour.
Yeah, but that's how much far over the speed limit you are. It's crazy. So that's what I'm thinking. And people are just darting in and out. Going off the highway is a fucking nightmare. Going on is a nightmare. So I'm like, I'm doing 3 days of this shit. I'm going to lose all my hair. We're getting a divorce. I'm having a nervous breakdown. Your highways are amazing. Everybody's so slow. I love it. It was beautiful, going on.
I didn't like it.
Totally not what I was expecting for you to say. It was awesome.
It was awesome. It was the biggest thing that I was worried about, other than worrying about we wouldn't get along, was that I was going to be white knuckling it the whole time and basically having a panic attack for 3 days. And it was great. Like your interstate system, it's a lot like. Once you get outside of the GTA, it's more like that.
Yeah, like it's our major highways from town to town outside of the GTA.
Outside of the GTA, it's much more like. So it's much more relaxed. It's getting off is smooth, getting on is smooth. There's usually only 2 lanes. It's more or less everybody's very courteous about moving over and coming back in.
So over in New Brunswick, it's actually posted that if you can get over. To allow somebody else to merge, you're supposed to.
Right, yeah.
That's not how it is in Ontario. They just don't do that.
Not on the 400 series highway, anyways, down in
pretty much anywhere. Yeah. You have to get in. So that was, it was nice to see. As long as anybody could move over, they would down there. Yeah. And allow people in, and there's a lot of courteous drivers. There was a lot of, and then there was only like a couple of
douchebags.
Yes,
but very quickly.
Yeah, and it was okay. I'm gonna back off and let them have their space, and we're good.
Yeah,
easy breezy.
That's hilarious. I never would have thought that.
Yeah, but it was. I will take that drive over driving through Toronto. Yeah. Hate driving to Toronto.
Yep.
Hate it.
I know.
Well, good deal.
Yeah.
I'm glad that wasn't horrible, because I was really worried about that. Because, in my opinion, no one can drive in Colleen. So.
No, it was great.
Oh, didn't even get to talk about what I got to drive a 5-liter Mustang while I was down in Colleen. That was awesome.
Oh yeah.
He trusted me to do it.
Yeah, he was like, so we went and ran some errands in my car, and I have a 2011, when they redid it, and it's the true 5.0 Mustang, and I knew he'd probably get a kick out of that, so I specifically kind of switched around our order of operation, and I was just like, all right, hey, by the way, here's the keys, you drive home. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, you drive home. So.
Yeah. I really, really, like, my foot was wanting to push down so bad. and then the picture of, getting pulled over, the blue lights and all that shit.
Yeah. if the road back towards the airport hadn't gotten as busy as it's been within the last year or so, that's used to where I would take people and be like, so give it a shot, and you could kind of tromp down, at least for a little bit, and be okay. Yeah. But yeah, it's gotten kind of busy, so it's like, so.
I got to drive. It was fun. It was a nice car, so it was.
Absolutely, Ryan. I agree with that. All right, so that is our episode for the week, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's definitely different than our normal topics, and I know we went 2 weeks without having an episode, but we played with the idea of maybe doing an episode last weekend. It wasn't going to work out, and
Austin, we got back way too late from
We
Austin.
got way too back.
Yeah, it was. But I mean, so we do have an episode this week. We've got an episode next week, and as far as I can tell, we'll be back on a regular schedule. So Cyrus just may not be able to join us for at least until the end of the month. Hopefully, things will work out, and he can come back.
We're bummed it didn't work out with Cyrus.
Yeah,
we
still wanted to meet him, and
Parker too.
And Parker, and then. We were hoping that maybe somehow to get to see Lewis, but that didn't work out either. And
turned out he lives super far away from you guys.
Yeah, he lives 6 hours south of us.
Crazy far.
Yeah.
Crazy far.
Yeah.
And we just didn't make it to Indiana, Jay.
Dude. Just wasn't in the cards.
Out of the way a little bit too much.
Well, he's not as far from y'all, so yeah.
No, he's only like 5 or 6 hours, so.
Probably.
If he's close enough to get friggin' ketchup chips, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, no shit. I've had those. Yeah, of course you have, Jay.
Rye chips.
Oh yeah, the rye chips.
Rye chips.
That's
right. Oh my god, the garlic rye chips at the rest stops that we were at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So good. She enjoyed those. We will get them up here.
You ever had rye chips?
No, I don't think I have.
Okay, so they're at the gas station.
Oh, the Gardettos. I know exactly
the
what you're talking
Gardettos.
about. Those are so
Oh, the
good.
Gardettos? Yes, those are good.
The garlic ones?
Yeah.
Yes,
Of course,
they
if you
are.
eat a whole bag really fast, they make you feel sick. Just FYI.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do. Which is funny because garlic is supposed to be good for your digestive system.
Not if you wolf them down in 10 minutes. They don't.
Apparently not.
Oh.
Yes, that's something I learned about my good friend Kris. There is that she does like the chips, and right there with you, lady.
Yeah.
But like I said, we should be having next week. I don't know if the episode is going to be broadcast live or not because we will be doing it from Geek Fest. When we get there, I'm going to do my best to see if we can live stream it. It's going to be from 6 to 8 Central Standard Time, Daylight Savings Time, whatever. So it'll be 6 to 8. It is an earlier time in the evening because we're hoping to actually pull some people in off the floor and actually ask some questions or whatever. So we will see how that goes. If not, we won't have a live episode, but we will definitely have another episode out. So, but that's what Lainey and I will be doing. We will be at Geek Fest next weekend from the 18th to the 20th. And it'll be, if nothing else, it'll be me and her and Parker doing the episode. And like I said, hopefully pulling in people and hopefully live broadcasting it. So we'll just
I'm
we'll
gonna
just
try to
see.
Billy Eichner the hell out of it.
Yeah. So, let's move on to our picks and pans for the week. Would anyone like to go first?
I will go. So we got back on Thursday night, like around 6 o'clock, which was really nice to come home and just lay in your own bed, just coming home. And it was really nice. But so this is a pick and a pan. It was just like, I can't believe it's over. We planned for 2 months and we were all excited. And we get down there and it's amazing. Then we come back and we're like, oh, kind of done now. So that was that. Now we have to get back into the swing of things, and school's starting for the kids in 3 weeks, and Ray's going back to work tomorrow, and
I feel you, Ray.
Yeah, but we had one of the chillest, relaxing, amazing.
It was one of my favorite trips that we've ever done.
Ever, and it was awesome. And you guys have to come up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we are seriously planning it. Like, it is seriously on our books. To
Yeah, for sure.
To try and go off of that as well, I'm going to be discussing just a few half our street. Anyway.
Half our street.
So about a couple kilometers away.
About a kilometer away. Yeah.
There are cottages to rent that are winterized.
Oh, okay.
So
hello.
That might be fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You could for the whole week.
I'm so down for something like that.
But yes, that is, and we've even told the boys because they've asked about y'all, and we're like, They're like, well, we're going to see him next year. And we're like, probably not next year, buddy, but probably the year after that. Like, we're really shooting for 2 years from now. So
my favorite thing with Nick, though, and I was wearing my striped skirt for your birthday party, and he comes up to me and he just kind of goes, just petting me a little bit. I like your skirt. And I'm like, it's not a skirt, buddy, it's pants. And he does it again. He goes, I like your pants. I'm like, thanks, babe. That's really sweet. He's such a flirt.
He is a flirt, and he does like the ladies, so.
Yeah, he does.
He likes the ladies.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. He's so cute. He's adorable.
But
yeah, that was my pick. And pan was the trip was amazing, but the bittersweet pan that we came home, it felt just too quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. That post-vacay depression is real.
A little bit, yeah.
Yes, it is. Because Christy, I mean, I was feeling it, but Christy was really feeling it. She's just like,
she's awesome.
God, the house is so empty and like, yeah. So, because it was very boisterous while y'all were here, but not in a bad way.
But in like the best way.
Exactly in the best way. So,
well, okay, so I'll move into my pick then.
Okay.
So my pick was meeting your family, and it's just
your family's awesome.
You know what? They were so welcoming, and I mean, I know it's your own family, so you kind of have your own feels for that and stuff like that. But they were so welcoming. They were so awesome to meet, and everybody was so sweet down there.
Jennifer, awesome.
Jennifer's
Thank you so much for those straws. We used them so much on the way back home.
Yes, thank you
so much.
for that.
Will and Krista are awesome. You guys are amazing.
They are.
So cool.
Sweet little baby.
Which I gotta contact him now that I'm back about t-shirts and stuff like that. So we'll be discussing that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
I just your family was so
they were very sweet,
and very.
We just fell into place. It was really cool.
It was nice that they just kind of they let us fit in, and it was awesome.
They like Jill a lot.
Yeah, and I liked playing the games with your dad there too. So
Big Marv.
Yeah.
And Rudy.
Big Marv and Rudy are fun to play board games with, even if they're douches sometimes. But particularly Rudy, not so much my dad. I'm going to jump in here with mine. Obviously, the weekend was phenomenal. Specifically, the birthday party was just so much fun. The other thing I just wanted to throw out there was going back, like I said, because we haven't done a show since then, Classic Game Fest. If you listen to the Marginally Geeky show, we talked about it a little bit then. Lainey and I had an absolute blast at Classic Game Fest.
That was awesome.
The 501st was like two booths down from us, and directly across from us was the G.I. Joe cosplay group, and they were really awesome. They were very, very cool. But then the two guys that were next to us are from, they're actually members of Ghostbusters San Antonio, but they're also mainly droid builders, and they had a working R2, and I looked at Lainey, and I was just like, the one fucking thing that can upstage us, we've got fucking proton packs, one thing that can upstage us. And I mean, the build on this was phenomenal, but the guys were just super chill. Like, we got along with them just awesomely the whole time. I got to meet Ernest Cline, the author of Ready Player One, and he signed my book, and like, he's a honorary member of our Ghostbusters group, and you know, like, he signed it, Who You Gonna Call, with the anti-Sixer logo. And he was like, did you see the car outside? And I'm like, no. And then once again, check my Instagram feed, because I've got pictures of me next to his Ecto 88, which is literally a semi-time machine restored DeLorean, but it's also got a bunch of like other 80s stuff. Like, it's got like the black and yellow stripes down the side with the No Ghost logo, and it's got proton wands. And
if you've read Ready Player One, it's that one.
It's that, yeah.
It's Wade Wade Watson.
Yeah.
Car.
Now, is it Ernest Cline's car, or does it belong to somebody? Because I thought it belonged to someone else, because Ernest Cline was signing it while I was out there.
No, I think it's his. I'm pretty sure it's his.
Oh,
so
I have no idea, but a very nice gentleman took my picture in front of it and then asked me 500 questions about proper con etiquette, which I thought was hilarious. Because he was like, what do you do if you like want to take a picture with or like of somebody, like in a cosplay? And as I said, you just ask nicely, and he's like, oh, can we take a picture with you? I was like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So, we had an absolute blast. Hanging out with those guys. I gave them an Austin patch, and they, oh my god! So that's the other thing you got to check out my Instagram feed. They gave us, and it's behind me here, these little acrylic clear acrylic pieces that are laser etched with the plans for the Death Star. And so Lainey's like, oh my God, I have to do the scene. So I'm pulling up my phone to take a picture of her kind of doing the bend over, putting it into the droid. And he's like, no, switch to video. So I switched to video, and he literally starts playing Leia's entire monologue. And I'm just like,
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Awesome.
Oh God, it was so awesome.
yeah, we had a blast. And then we hung out with Captain Jack, which he's going to be at Classic Game Fest. Hopefully, I'm hoping we're going to have him on the show. The problem is it looks like that's the same time as the cosplay judging, so he'll probably be busy doing that. But if nothing else, we just have to do an interview or something.
Done.
Do what now?
Yeah, I'm sure he'll pop in when he's done.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, if nothing else, we just have to do an interview or something with him. And I may still try to do some live streaming. I don't know. It just kind of depends on when we get there, what else going on. So, but if you can make it out to Geek Fest this weekend in Killeen, Texas, by all means, please do. Lainey, did you have a pick or pan?
I did. I have I kind of have two picks.
Okay.
So my first pick is I had to go back to school this last week, so I had to go back on contract, and I know it was a huge, big, fat bummer. But my pick is honestly like this summer was awesome. I feel like I did so much stuff. I had a lot of goals that I set that I reached. I accomplished cleaning out a lot of stuff, which sounds really stupid, but it was very cathartic and awesome and made me feel a lot better. I got to go see my friends in Orlando, which always means so much to me. I met fucking Joe Rohde and got my entire life. I got to take a trip up to Oregon and just be in the woods and enjoy how beautiful it was. And then I came home and I got to meet kick-ass Canadians and I had a really great summer, and I'm so happy that I got to do all of this wonderful stuff and just spend all this wonderful time with people that I love and that I care about. And then my other pick is I don't know if anybody who watches the show or listens to the show really truly understands. Kris and Ray are amazing, wonderful, kind, warm, just perfect human beings.
Thank you.
I cannot even explain how wonderful it was to get to sit down with them and actually just talk about anything. I got to sit down with Kris a bunch of times and just talk about life, and it was wonderful. And I'm so glad that we finally got to sit down and just be with each other. It was fantastic. I'm so glad that y'all did the surprise for Eugene. It totally benefited me too, and I really appreciate that.
At least you're honest.
But it really, truly, really and truly, they're two wonderful people who are just warm and kind and inviting, and I love that they're a part of our lives. It makes me really happy. So
absolutely.
Are your lives too?
Yeah.
You guys are really cool and whatever. And I'm not crying, you're crying, and shut up.
Yeah. And that's why I haven't kept going on, because Lainey's basically said everything. So
yeah.
Real quick. So plans for the Death Star. Just got to show that.
Oh my God.
off.
Mine's going to go on my teacher desk. I'm so excited.
Oh, see, I don't trust people enough. I could staying in my office. And then the other thing.
I'm going to go all the way at the very top of my.
Okay, that's not bad, because most people are probably going to look at it and have no clue what the fuck it is.
I'm going to put it next to, I have a Death Star.
Yeah, and there we
go. There it is. Anti-Sixer.
Yeah.
Dude, that was so cool. Y'all have no idea, by the way, watching Eugene come back from that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
I did, because I didn't think I was going to get to meet him, and then I was like, yay, I got to meet him.
Do it. And he comes and he goes, Lainey, look at it. And he's opening it up. He's showing me everything. He's like, this is so cool. He was really excited.
Yes, I was.
Billy Mitchell was at Classic Game Fest too. Oh. And I would just like to throw this out there. I know who Billy Mitchell is. I get that. In fact, I was very recently having a conversation about him with some friends of mine. I don't get him as a concept. I just don't understand. And I was telling Parker this, and he goes, is it you don't understand why he's a big deal? I was like, no. I totally get that. He's the King of Kong. That's fine. I don't understand him just as a being that actually exists. He goes, is it the hair? I was like, that's got to be it. Dude, the dude was walking around in an all-white suit with a, tie that had, a screaming bald eagle on it.
An American flag, yeah.
I couldn't. I was like, I don't. I felt like I was like observing him from afar, like a gorilla. Like it was a lot that was happening.
Which, by the way, there's a picture of me and him on my Instagram as well. Anyway,
Yes.
yeah. So to wrap up this love fest, if you, because it's awesome. If you haven't already, please give us. Actually, let's not wrap up the love fest. If you haven't given us a 5-star rating on iTunes yet, please do so. That really does help us out. If you haven't, please subscribe on YouTube. Like the video, it does really help out. And then, of course, you can catch us on Stitcher and Google Music as well. We just dropped an episode last week of the Marginally Geeky Show where we recorded and we're talking about Bill Nye's Unstoppable, which was a good book. Which, by the way, several of the guys are in the chat room here that were in the chat room for that night, and I still think Cyrus was trolling us. I can't prove it, but something about it just makes me think he was trolling us.
He's saying no, but
yeah, Lainey is still working on an episode of Epic Rhythm and Brews. We are taking a month off from Marginally Geeky, so we won't have another episode until the end of September. I'm working right now on my next episode of Epically Geeky Makers. I don't know if it's going to come out this week, because if I don't get it done this week, it definitely won't get done this weekend. So, but I'm going to try to start getting more content out there. It's just with going back in school and my awesome birthday weekend surprise, we've just been really swamped and have not been getting out content as much as we normally do. But, we do appreciate everyone being in the chat and listening and everything else. So, that it does make a big difference to us. So, where can we find you on the internet, Lainey?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at It's a Lainey Bird, and then over at Epic Rhythm and Brews and Marginally Geeky.
Ray, where can we find you on the internet?
So I will start posting again on Instagram. I couldn't while we were driving down. I had a couple of sunsets, one in Memphis that I was like, oh, this would be so awesome to post it. And I couldn't because I didn't want to give away where we were.
I'll be honest with you. If you had done it, I would have been like, oh, they came down to the States. Maybe one day we can make it up there. I would have just been totally oblivious.
I was guessing that, but I was like,
we didn't want to push
I did not want to push the
I understand.
Yeah. So anyway, the Lake Life Artist on Instagram is where you can find me.
Awesome.
I have so many plans for so many things. It's just
tell me about it, buddy.
But I think we're get back in the groove of doing stuff, and with the cooler weather coming, we can actually get other stuff done too. So yeah.
Very cool. Kris, we still can't find you on the internet.
No, I'm still doing my self-imposed social media exile.
Girl, good for you.
It's been you talking about how it's been a really great summer. It's been the best summer for us since we moved out of our house. Since our summer in the trailer, it's been the best summer, and it's been thought out and calculated, and we've gotten rid of the distractions that would have otherwise clogged it up. And I don't miss it. Although I am starting to think about maybe an Instagram page, tinkering with it, that would be completely, totally dedicated to just my environmental endeavors and just more as a motivation for me than anything else to keep going with that. But I think I really like not being on social media.
Dude, it's awesome.
And the other thing, like, you are found here, and then once in a while, the Instagram, Epically Geeky, you've been. I haven't been posting as much.
I've been really bad about that. But I need to get on I need to start doing the Epically Geeky Instagram account again. But I'm also Marginally Geeky, and I'm here, and yeah.
Awesome. And you can always find the website at Epically Geeky on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you want to follow my personal Instagram account, I've been saying it over and over all night because that's where I tend to post most stuff. You can find me at Optimus Gene on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For everyone on the site, have a good night.